Mic on.
I've been waiting for this. This is Zone of the Enders, the second runner, Mars, Orange Case demo. Now, I did play this on my Twitch channel Saturday. It was through the PS4 version, and specifically the Japanese demo, since I do have a Japanese PSN. I wanted to get my hands on a demo as soon as possible, just to keep myself updated on the progress of this this remaster. Um, the Orange Case demo compared to the trial demo that appeared near the start of August is played significantly better, at least on the PS4. Uh, Apparently, both the trial and the Orange Case demos were on Steam, with Orange Case replacing the trial uh, once Orange Case released. But I just wasn't aware of it, mostly because the demo is tucked off to the side of the Steam window in the same look as the rest of Steam, so like it kind of blended in with the background, so I missed it. But I did discover that it does indeed in fact have a demo of the PC release, and that's what I'm here to evaluate, is whether this port is going to be good or it's going to be botched. Because the thing is, this is Konami we're talking about. They're pretty terrible at doing things in terms of like anything related to gaming. Uh, and they do not have a good track record when it comes to PC ports, as far as I'm aware, at least. But put up JOT here. But I did boot up this port before I started streaming. Of course, I wanted to make sure everything was working fine. I wouldn't encounter any significant issues. Uh, the game was chugging at first, but that was only because it wasn't running through my NVIDIA. It is now, so it runs perfectly. Uh, Obviously, run the game full screen for the best consistent frame rate. Did that. Uh, there were a couple of problems though that persisted with no matter how many ways I tested things. Uh, the second one I'll get to when we get to that point of the demo. It'll be in the training mode. But the first one was the fact that, though it may not sound like it right now because I turned it up, but the volume of the game is quite low. And looking through Steam's discussions, it seems to be because the game is trying to push a 5.1 audio system and doesn't really have generic stereo sound. There is the output settings here, but it doesn't really seem to make much of a difference in terms of volume quality. So I basically had to go to the volume mixer of Windows and just turn this way up compared to the rest of the applications. So that's one problem I'm seeing so far with this port, but overall minor and uh, can be subverted by just going to your volume mixer. But I do hope Konami sees this and puts in better audio options. But the display settings are fine. as far as I know. There are some display settings that are apparently giving people trouble. But as for my settings, it runs perfectly fine. Uh, I have the graphics set to extra high with the VSync disabled just to reduce lag as much as possible. Since when it comes to Z.O.E the Enders, I care more about performance than anything else. I set motion blur to low just to see how it is. If I feel the need to get rid of it, I will. I probably will. Not really a big fan of motion blur, but a little bit never really hurts, I guess. But everything else, pretty solid. But we'll get to that one particular problem I had an issue with in a bit. But for now, let's go through the Orange Case Orange Case demo once more, just to see how they're doing.
Angie, I remember now. The winner of the year was Hesperia Gales.
No idle talk, you'll crash, Dingo.
In the final 30 seconds, Henry G trashed out from field out. Man, we had a great time that night.
20 to touchdown. Can't wait for the new season.
Position for landing. The people on Mars can start getting excited. I still have 200 more hours.
Be a good kid and the time will fly.
That's unusual.
What is?
Indications of Metatron, but it's way too shallow. Angie, I want to change the landing point. I'll check it out.
Okay.
Rick, you hear that? I'll be back soon.
Dingo, what team won in '66?
I don't know much about back then. Piece of junk.
I reckon Ross Narcissus is going to win this year.
There goes your entire salary again.
I'm sure of it.
Dingo, I think the Metatron reaction is from the direction of the arrow.
I got you.
No. The game does have a positive reaction, negative reaction system. I said reaction again, but at least for the PS4 version, if you hit the left stick or the right stick after someone says something or Ada says something, Ada being the computer program of the objectivity, Dingo will respond in whatever way you wish. Left stick being the positive and right stick being the negative. I have noticed in the discussion page of the Steam version that apparently some people are having trouble with this. As far as I can tell, the DualShock 4, which is picked up natively by this port, those positive negative reaction stick clicks do work. They work just fine. But it seems other controllers are unable to use that function. So while I would consider a very minor issue. I would still say Konami should see about addressing that for the full release of the port. If not day one, then in future patches, I would hope. But since I am using the DualShock 4, it does work fine.
You may crash. Beware.
Course clear.
Dingo, haven't you arrived yet?
I'm heading there now.
Don't push the left so hard. Hey, Dingo, after this job, are you free?
Okay. I'm on the ground.
The Metatron is not very deep.
And it's very strong. It wasn't here last time I came. Shut up!
Is it debris?
The observation crews are goofing off again. What the hell is that?
Anything wrong?
I found something interesting. I'll check it out.
I've got a bad feeling.
What?
An orbital frame.
Dingo, I see a huge ship over there. Ah!
What's happening, Angie? What ship did you see? Angie! Damn. Warship? Must be Barra. My liver's damaged. Damn Barra.
Barum, from Mars? How can you tell?
Get your ship down into the ditch and stay hidden.
Good morning. Ready for combat operation.
There's my favorite mecha of all time.
Enemy approaching. Verified as unmanned orbital frame, Raptor. Be careful not to get surrounded. Raptor destroyed.
Confirming the enemy destroyed.
What is the efficiency of this frame?
This is orbital frame Z.O.E. Do you want me to explain how to manipulate the frame?
Who is this?
This is Detached Backup Battle Unit, ADA.
So this is a battle computer, isn't it? More reliable than the Lev's navigators.
I'm completely different. Do you request control instructions?
Yes, Ada. Please.
Please choose what training you want to go through.
Okay, so I'll bring up the problem I see with training mode, specifically, when we get to normal attack.
I will explain about moving. Z.O.E is controlled by input from the left stick. Press the Y button to ascend. Press the A button to descend. Press RB while moving to dash. Holding down RB keeps you dashing. This is very effective to move quickly or dodge enemy attacks. Ending the explanation about moving.
As you can see, Z.O.E controls like a dream, so no problems there.
I will explain about normal attack. When the enemy is at long distance range, the lock-on marker turns green. It turns red when the enemy is at close range. When the target is distant, press the X button, which will fire a shot. In a close-range battle, you will initiate a slashing attack by pressing the X button. Ending the explanation about normal attack.
Alright, so in the training mode, at least as far as I can tell, melee is quite sluggish. In normal gameplay, I see that it's about on par to the original speed. And comparison to the PS4 demo I'll get to in a moment. But for whatever reason, in training mode, melee attacks are a bit slow to respond. Considering this is a area isolated from the rest of the game, it's not really that big of an issue. But wouldn't mind that being tweaked to be proper speed. There's also something else where they changed the shot mechanics. For one, basic shot, it's a 3-shot burst instead of the single pea shooter. Which, honestly, well, I'll get to that in a moment. But also, when you hold down shot, it doesn't fire continuously. Apparently in previous versions, it would keep firing no matter how long you held down the fire button. But really, these changes aren't really that significant, because when it comes to the shots, they aren't really what you're going to be using in high-level Zone of the Enders gameplay. You're going to be mostly using homing shots.
Set up not to do that right now.
Well, I can't do it right now, of course, to demonstrate, but you're mostly going to be using homing shots, your burst shot, and your sub-weapons. Basic shots are not really used in high-level Zone of the Enders gameplay, as far as I've seen. So these changes aren't really that big of an issue. The 3-shot burst being a positive, and the inability to keep shooting while holding down the button a negative, but they're very insignificant changes, in my opinion.
I will explain about dash attacks. Press the X button while dashing to perform a dash attack. In a close-range battle, a dash attack becomes a dash blade. In a long-distance battle, you can lock on to multiple enemies by pressing the X button. You can fire a homing laser by releasing it. Using homing lasers consumes sub-gauge power. The longer you hold down the X button, the more enemies you can lock onto. If you destroy multiple enemies at once, your subgauge will be restored even more. Ending the explanation of the dash attack.
That's another dissonance with the melee attack being sluggish in training mode.
Jehuti is set up not to do that right now.
Try to do a burst finish, my bad. Like moving, shooting, everything is the proper speed it should be. It's just melee in just training mode. It's weird. But we'll continue through training.
I will explain about burst attacks. When Jehuti is not moving, you can change to burst mode by pressing RB. You can perform burst attacks by pressing the X button in this mode. A close-range burst attack is a burst blade attack. A long-distance burst attack is a burst shot. By holding down the X button, you can charge power for a burst shot. Burst attacks are very powerful and penetrate the enemy's guard. A burst shot consumes subgauge power. Ending the explanation of burst attacks. I will explain how to guard yourself. By pressing LB, Jehuti takes a guard position and can block enemy attacks. But not all attacks can be blocked. You cannot guard yourself from enemy burst attacks or grab attacks. Ending the explanation about guarding. I will explain how to switch between locked targets. When Jehuti gets close enough to an enemy, Jehuti locks on automatically. If there are multiple enemies, you can select an enemy to lock onto by pressing LT. You can switch between locked targets by using the right stick. You can deselect the target by holding down LT.
That was a bit of a typo there.
Of switching locked targets.
Missing text.
I will explain about the ring radar. When an enemy gets close to Jehuti, the ring radar appears. The ring radar turns green when the enemy is far away. It turns orange when the enemy gets closer.
I will say the
size of the ring radar represents the distance from the enemy.
quality of the ring radar's colors much more clear
When an attack from outside the screen approaches Jehuti,
in the PC version.
a red ring radar appears. In this case, the marker shows the direction and distance of the incoming attack. The closer the attacker gets, the larger the ring radar becomes. Ending the explanation of the ring radar.
Because in most versions of second runner I've played, the ring radar, it doesn't really look green if you're far away. It looks more white with like a very slight green tinge. But now it's visibly more green. So that's a good touch.
I will explain about combo smash. In a close-range battle, you can perform a combo smash with a normal blade attack. Press the X button 3 times consecutively. If the fourth press is the X button, you will slash and push back the enemy. If the fourth press is the Y button, you will slash and toss up the enemy. If the fourth press is the A button, you will slash and throw down the enemy. By pushing an enemy to a wall, ceiling, or floor, you can cause additional damage. Ending the explanation of combo smash. I will explain about camera control. If you are not locked on, Z.O.E will move in the direction of the left stick. If you release the left stick, the camera will capture Z.O.E from behind. You can also change the camera angle with the right stick. When aiming at a certain spot to attack, you can move the target marker with the right stick. Ending the explanation of camera control.
Alright, since we're on the last tutorial, I'll bring up one more thing I've noticed between the PC version and the PS4 version. At least when it comes to the Japanese orange case version. On the PS4 Japanese orange case, the game speed is just incredibly fast. The like the trial version, initial release, that was the NA version. This played about on speed with what you're seeing now, aside from the melee sluggishness that I mentioned. But also, actually, there wasn't also. The Japanese version of the demo of Orange Case, which I tried later on and streamed it. It played much, much faster. What I need to do, though, is see, like, whenever PSN uploads the North American Orange Case demo, is I need to confirm if it's the difference between the Japanese version of some of the enders and the NA version, or it's the difference between the console version and the PC version. Because, yeah, the initial demo I tried is just really, really fast, and this doesn't play as fast in comparison. So I'll investigate that after the stream on my own time. Hopefully PSN does have the North American Orange Case demo uploaded by now.
Ending training.
We found our objective at point 04.
Roger. Departing for 04.
Enemy approaching. Unmanned battle planes. Unmanned combat aircraft, Mosquito.
Also notice the mosquitoes don't spawn where they spawn in the console version. Or maybe I just haven't really took note of it until I played the PC version, which is just incredibly clear in quality. You see, the melee doesn't.
Put me through to 663.
I'll get to it in a
Yes,
moment.
I'll connect you now.
Help me, Dingo.
Where are you?
My legs are damaged.
Rick, where are you now? Don't move. I'll be there soon.
Enemy approaching.
It's approaching your way.
I indicate the position of Rick with an arrow. Move in the indicated direction. Enemy destroyed. Raptor destroyed.
Yeah, the melee speed in the normal game feels fine. It's about as responsive as I expect it to be. Not as fast as, again, the Japanese demo of Orange Case I tried. But again, I still need to determine if that is a difference between regions or a difference between platforms.
Enemy destroyed. Raptor destroyed. Enemy reinforcements. Pay attention to your back, too. Switch lock on targets. Use LT. Raptor destroyed. Enemy destroyed.
I will note one other thing, though. And I'm sure this is a regional difference. And it's the fact that enemies are a lot more aggressive in the Japanese version.
Enemy destroyed. Enemy destroyed. Obtained Metatron.
The cursor is on. Destroy with a burst attack.
Stop moving and hold RB. Then hit the X button for a burst attack.
Okay.
Beat it, Rick. Dingo.
For the record, I stopped before this cutscene in terms of testing the game quality upstream. So everything from here on out, I don't know how it's going to be.
Since I found Z.O.E, you'll have to give it to me.
What does Barham want with Callisto?
Oh? You don't look like a mining man to me.
Get lost.
Hand over Z.O.E.
Shoot down the enemy's attack with lasers.
Boss fight performed fine. No issues there.
Frame, don't you?
Maybe.
Even if you're far off, that's too rough.
It sure is.
Who's the commander?
You think I'll tell?
Wait!
Good job, Dingo.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Dingo, the enemy is approaching me.
All right, I'll try to head them off.
You will?
Take care, Angie.
What?
High energy reaction inside enemy battleship. Entry is dangerous.
If we don't do something, we'll be crushed along with Callisto. We have no choice.
Enemy walking tank, Spider. Enemy reinforcements are confirmed. To switch lockdown targets, use LT. Enemy destroyed. Raptor destroyed. Enemy destroyed. All enemies have been cleared.
Been playing a bit sloppily. I don't think that's the game's fault.
You can grab objects which may be useful in battle with the B button. Do you want to see how it's done?
Yes, please.
I will explain about grabbing objects. Jehuti can grab and use objects around it by pressing the B button. When Jehuti is grabbing an object, press the X button for a powerful close-range attack with the object. When Jehuti is holding an object, press the B button again to throw it. Jehuti can guard itself with some objects from normally unguardable attacks by pressing LB. Some objects will explode on impact. The explanation of grabbing objects is complete.
And again, object melee is also a bit sluggish. I'll have to see how that is in normal game.
I will explain how to grab an enemy. By pressing the B button near an enemy, Jehuti can grab it. You can also grab a guarding enemy. When Jehuti is holding an enemy, press the X button to swing it around as a weapon. When Jehuti is holding an enemy, press the B button again to throw him. When Jehuti is holding an enemy, press LB to guard with it. Guarding with a held enemy can block attacks that are normally unguardable. If you hold an enemy for too long, he can shake your hold off. You can paralyze an escaping enemy by bursting. Ending the explanation about grabbing enemies. training.
Alright, let's compare speed to normal game. Slightly faster, again.
Confirmed destruction of cellar. Obtained Metatron.
Yeah, they need to address the training mode slowness.
Long distance support flight to Tommy Head. Be careful. Raptor destroyed. Enemy destroyed. Raptor destroyed. Enemy destroyed. Confirmed destruction of cellar. Raptor destroyed. Enemy destroyed.
After all, they want this frame, don't they?
Did you board this even though you knew?
I didn't want to involve my friends. Also, there's something I have to confirm.
The gate to the next unit is open. Please follow the arrow.
Is that you? Viola?
Perhaps you're speaking to a battle AI.
She's AI? Hey, Viola!
It is just a replica being made by using her past battle data and part of her character. I don't think you can get a response from her.
So, what happened to Viola?
The applicable frame runner is already dead.
She died?
In the year 2172, the Antilia raid. It was a matter under the control of the Space Force. Bahram attacked the colony orbiting a satellite of Jupiter and stole an orbital frame which was under development.
Was she involved with that? Which orbital frame was taken?
The orbital frame Anubis. Z.O.E was their target too, but they didn't get this frame.
Z.O.E was collected by someone who had much to fear from Bahram before it was abandoned on Callisto.
That is about right.
Who was commanding the Antilia raid?
That was the commander of Bahram, Colonel Noman.
Noman. What's the matter?
It is a resonance reaction.
Resonance?
It is Anubis.
Okay. Alright, let's see how long I can last in this one. Actually, you know what? Low motion blur does look nice. I think I'll keep it.
By guarding yourself, you can avoid most enemy attacks, except their burst attacks.
Damn, who are you? Got it.
Press LB.
Please hold on.
Damn, it's too tough.
It's all cutscenes from here.
I remember you. Noman. It's Dingo.
The Japanese version had Noman saying something at the end there. English does not.
The machine supplements your heart and lungs. That power comes from Jehuti. The minute you get off Jehuti, it will stop providing energy. You will die if you leave Jehuti.
Inner chamber pressure rising normally. Life ring has started revolving. Ready to fire.
Since the dawn of
Alright. So, this is what I'm finding of the differences between PS4 and the PC. The PC version has a couple of issues, and that's the fact that the audio is oddly quiet. Again, my volume mixer has this game put way up, way above everything else. So that needs to be addressed in however way they can. Maybe offering different audio options to configure for if you're using headphones or speakers, because while it says it has it here, I don't see a difference or hear a difference. If there's any kind of difference in audio, I do not hear it. Or maybe let you choose between stereo or 5.1, which I believe they're trying to use 5.1 for PC, but it's just making it quiet for those who do not have that kind of audio. The second thing is training mode making gameplay oddly sluggish, but just slightly. Like melee attacks aren't as responsive. I think burst shots aren't as responsive. Movement and homing lasers and shots are about on par with normal. But yeah, for training mode specifically, there's a bit of slowdown with responsiveness. So audio and training mode responsiveness will be what they need to work on. There's also minor issues like the positive and negative response left stick, right stick mechanic not working for some controllers, or at least any controller that isn't DS4 as far as I can see. And some performance issues with certain types of screen resolutions, which I don't have an issue with, so I can't really account for that. Yeah, I think that'll do it for what they need to work on for the PC. But there's one other thing I need to confirm between, rather, I need to confirm if it's a regional difference or a console difference, is the fact that when I played the Japanese Orange Case demo, it played a lot faster than this version. Like, Japanese was just zipping around and meleeing extremely fast, like, much faster than I expected. But, what I need to do after the stream is see if the American PSN finally got the Orange Case demo for PS4, and I'll confirm if that is indeed a console difference or a regional difference, which I will post on Twitter, which I do have the panel for down below. I did attach that to my Twitch channel. Other than that, the PC version definitely looks superior. Sound is, aside from the quietness, superior. Performance is fine. There's consistent 60 FPS. Haven't really encountered any technical hiccups. It looks good. It's really just sort of minor tweaks that need to be done, and it'd be just fine. I'm really hoping and praying that the full release will be just as everyone wants it to be, with little issue. And if there is issues, that the game will be supported past launch with patches. Again, this is Konami we're talking about. They have a really terrible track record, so I would actually advise anyone watching this or who will watch this in the future not to pre-order this until you see reviews, if there will be any pre-release reviews, or if not pre-release, at least day one. Obviously demos are going to be completely different from the final product, so you just make sure, if you're a fan of this game, that you spend wisely and you go in knowing everything about this port, specifically about this port, because I'm fully confident the PS4 version will be just fine. But this is a platform that Z.O.E has yet to be on, so there's a lot riding on it compared to the PS4 version. But with that analysis out of the way, I want to do something I've been meaning to try out since the PC port got released. I'm going to turn the music down to 0. Okay. Now what I want to do... Actually, let me do one more thing. Skip training, so that doesn't interrupt. What I want to do is while I wanted to do this with the extra mission survival mode for the full release, I'm gonna give it a test here just to see how it'll feel. But I really, really want to play some amazing music while playing this game because this game is meant, like, it plays at a pace perfect for songs that are really intense and really fast paced and just really get your blood pumping. So we're just gonna, like, what the content the demo offers, we're just gonna speed through the cutscenes, get straight to the gameplay, and I'm just gonna put on some music I have lined up for when I play the survival mode and other modes of the extra mission mode, and I just want to see how it'll be. But we'll get to the Lev segment first, since that's not very exciting.
Dingo, I think the Metatron reaction is from the direction of the arrow.
You may crash. Beware.
Darn. Damn jalopy.
Hey! Dingo, haven't you arrived yet?
Okay, okay.
Hey! Don't push the left so hard. Hey, Dingo, after this job, are you free?
Today? Again?
You're so rude when you choose the negative response. Skip
Enemy approaching.
and pause. Oh, I should probably mention that both in the initial stream of this and this stream of this, I've been using the Pro controls. Obviously, I can't take full advantage of it since I do not have access to sub-weapons in this demo. But I'm hoping that'll turn out really good because being able to switch to different sub-weapons very easily will dramatically increase the pace and responsiveness of combat in this game. So, let me grab up YouTube here. What do I play? I want to save the really good stuff for the full release, but what to play? I'll get some Metal Gear Solid 4 soundtrack up in here, sure. Let's make sure the volume is appropriate. Right there.
Unmanned combat aircraft Mosquito. Visual attacks are weak, but be careful. There are many of them.
Oops, too much damage.
Guarding yourself, you can kill most enemies.
Yeah, that felt good. Can't wait to like just go into survival mode and just let music like that play for the entire time until I fall. Alright. Well, that'll do it for this demo. Like I said, I will look into the North American PS4 version of Orange Case to determine if the game speed that I experienced back in the Japanese demo I tried earlier is regional or platform based. I will make a Twitter post about it, listing the differences and the problems of the port, but that won't be until later. But really looking forward to Mars. If for anyone who has been keeping an eye on my posts on my Discord or just knows me in general, been really looking forward to this. I'm hoping the port will be great because the PC version will probably be the best way for me to make content for this game. I can go out and seek a capture card if the PS4 version ends up being better, but I'm really hoping the PC version will be the ideal version in the end. But that'll do it. That'll do it for Mars, at least until September 4th, which is the PC release. I'll be back up live shortly with some DFO. We'll combine daily DFO with the raid streams that are happening tonight, or raid runs that are happening tonight. And I'll see you guys soon. I really hope this PC version is good. I really do.